Good morning. I certainly hope I can get through this video because my nose won't stop running. I am in Florida and the pollen is high and the humidity is high and it makes the 88 feel like 110. Oh, it's miserable. Where's my coffee? So I'm not going to get all, I don't know. I was looking at notes I took from Mel Robbins' video. I did a couple of previous, hang on a minute. I did a couple previous about, being stuck and overcoming obstacles. And let's just relax today and talk about whatever pops up into my poor mind. I know there's been a couple of questions. Hang on a minute. I'm going to take a peek via my notebook. Somebody asked me a question and I said, you know what? I'll bring that up. And then if I don't write it down, I can't remember what it was I was going to talk about. Mindlessness. I'll start with the first one on the list. But oh my gosh, before I do anything else, I have to say, Esther, thank you. It means so much to me. But you shouldn't have done that. You need your money for yourself. But I love you. Thanks so much. And you're near and dear to my heart. I've watched your struggles and your fears, and it really touches me. I just feel your feelings. I get it. And it was very generous of you. Thank you so much. Okay, so Deanna Dove, yes. My eyes aren't that good, so please bear with me. Deanna, yeah, I'm not that committed. While I am on a journey to get my weight down, I would be very happy to be 150 pounds. Not near there yet. But, yeah, water. I hate water. I don't know what it is about me. I'm like a camel and it just doesn't go down. I try. Oh, I try. The best I've ever been able to do was I was getting down 4 16.9 Zephyr Hills bottles a day. And I was still starving. That was on Optavia. I do not recommend it. It was gross. And that's all I have to say about that. Who's next? Hang on a minute. I'll be right back. But Deanna does live in Northeast Florida. Are you anywhere near Fernandina Beach? Oh my God. They have this restaurant. Was it called Peaches? She makes these peach little pies. Oh, so fatteningly delicious. And she made this country fried steak. Heavens to Murgatroyd. I'm telling you, it was like we died and went to heaven. I don't know if they're still there, but someday I'd like to go back there and eat a peach pie. I think I'll skip the steak because my gallbladder can't go there. I probably shouldn't do the peach, and I can't taste it anyway. I might as well just live with the happy memories. And Karen Bangle, you're such a faithful viewer. So many of you are. Thank you so much for always commenting and always being there. And I hope you're doing all right. I know you've been through a lot of trials and tribulations in life, but you're a strong woman. Always positive, always upbeat. I like that. Deborah Benjamin, yes, I am in the process of monetization. I did the application and it takes about a month. So I'm probably not going to hear from YouTube till the end of June. That's the way it goes. They have to review my channel, and if they don't like me, I don't get monetized. Plus, they have a lot of hard and fast rules and regulations. It's like crazy. And That bothers me because I like to speak my mind, and I'm just going to have to bite my tongue from here on in. Yeah. And then I got to be careful of my viewers' comments because that can get me kicked off too. What are you going to do? Linda V., I'm so sorry. With your husband for 50 years. Oh my gosh. It must feel like you lost both your legs and your arms. I just can't imagine that kind of sorrow. And you're taking care of your mother, 96 years old. Oh, God bless you. If I had to have taken care of my mother, I would have ripped all my hair out if it hadn't fallen out on its own. Kathleen Zimmer, and a bunch of others that I'm probably not going to mention all your names, but I'll try to get to all of you eventually. Tiny homes. I don't have $50,000 to $70,000. I can't afford a mortgage of $50,000 to $70,000. I don't see the point of a tiny home. I can buy myself a 17-foot camper for about $10,000, maybe under if it's older. I think I want to look for a piece of land. If it had a well and septic or an RV pad on it, that would be a big plus. But if I have to put one in, I don't know. That's why I have to invest the money from this trailer and try to double it. So I might have some options. I've also thought of, what if I could just find a little, like, hunting cabin on a piece of land or, something. But tiny homes, they're way, like, and no more parks for me. No. I know they start out at $200 a month, but as they become popular and as they become desirable, supply and demand, the rent is going to go up. And then what happens if the tiny home thing goes out of vogue, and then all these people are leaving their tiny homes and you're stuck in a park that starts to deteriorate and you can't sell your tiny home for what you paid for it? No, not going there, not doing that. Nice suggestion, thanks. Comparing being widowed to losing your husband to another woman, or he just leaves and takes off. I can't imagine that. Dennis was like a diehard. I wanted him to leave once a month, and he stayed anyway. And I'm awful glad he did. Because I think I just was, hormonal. Yeah. And, I had rough once a monthers, I gotta tell you. Once I went through menopause, never felt depressed again. Well, sad over my husband's death. Never. I'm still a bit of a, what would you call it? High-wired. Like I'll fly off the handle over stupid crap because I think it's important. It ain't gonna matter a couple years down the road. Except for that one incident with O2 Solutions. We'll talk about that another time. I always say that and then I forget, right? Where's my pen and paper? O2 Solutions. I've started a list. Sheila Sirioni, thank you for being a faithful subscriber and viewer. Did I ever work? Are you joking? I had 2 husbands, well, one at a time, 4 children, various pets over the years, 2 businesses, 1, 2, 4 different homes. Yeah, I worked. Did I get paid for working? Not a lot of the time, no. After 1989, I pretty much helped my husband in his bit. Wait a minute, let me think about this. We started Good Reflections in 84. I had Denny in 86. And that's when I decided to take it a notch up and Dennis and I became good reflections. We weren't really good reflections until that point. And then I started working it on my own because he had injured his back. I mean, he was already injured, but he was pulling up a carpet for this guy and put his back out. And he was down for months. And I just had Denny Jr., and that was a rough birth. And I just started cleaning houses again. You know, I put my ad in, and then it took off. And we became Good Reflections Home and Office Cleaning, and we did that for about 4 years, I think. And then he discovered collectibles. We used to, while we were doing Good Reflections, we would go around. Big garbage season was spring and fall in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and all over the seacoast. Durham, these were wealthy people who didn't want their parents' stuff anymore, and they were throwing it out to the street. And we would go out there with a van, with a trailer, and we would load it up with antiques. We'd sell it for nothing because we didn't understand antiques then. We'd just have yard sales, and we had this little flea market we used to go to, sell it all for nothing. And then I don't know, he got smart. I don't know what happened, why he got smart, but he did, and he started looking things up, but not always. And sometimes he looked things up and he still sold it for nothing, like a crazy person. He had issues. So did I work? Yes, indeedy do. I busted my butt. And I didn't understand. At first, we didn't make that much because we didn't know what we were doing. We were just surviving. Then it started to take off, and he made about $40,000 a year, but we always filled out the income tax for just him. I was never on it as an unpaid helper. So I never claimed anything for all those years. Sometimes I'd stop and I'd do some work, like maybe I'd get a retail job for a while, and I'd work that just for extra money. And I worked a stint at Burger King. I worked a stint at Jiffy Mart. And then Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, I was the chief cook and bottle washer. They worked me like a dog. Oh, it still makes me mad. Oh, well, anyway. I mean, the people who had been there a long time, they just sat on their ever-lovins and did nothing while I was washing out and scraping down old freezers and doing all the pastries and rising dough and making sandwiches at the same freaking time and cleaning the bathroom. And they made me their personal slave. And I was convinced then I'll never work for anybody else ever again. For $8 an hour, I was busting my butt with a bad back, drugging myself so I could do that work. Yeah, no. So at this point in time, I don't know what I'm going to do because I am in the worst condition I have been in since that accident in 1998. I have never had this much trouble with my back and neck as I'm having currently. I don't know if it's because I just washed the outside of the... And I didn't even scrub. All I did was spray and then rinse. I did some sweeping and maybe a little bit of scrubbing. Yeah, I can't do very much in my current condition. I did some physical therapy. I don't know what's wrong with me. Something's wrong with me. Something's worse wrong with me than was wrong with me before. I don't know what to do. I really don't. Living on $8.83 a month it sucks. Yeah. Okay. Part 2 of her question. I didn't cover it. Sheila Sirioni. That's Italian. Everything in prices is going up north. Yeah, for sure. Someone's in Rhode Island, friends in Connecticut, very expensive. What will you do if you can't find a van? Should you get a more expensive van? You don't need a piece of crap. You need a good sleeper van with, hang on a minute, I'm reading. With the fridge, etc. Okay, could I rent a room? There's possibilities. Could I rent a room? Right now, people have lost their minds in Florida. They're like, money, money, and they become very greedy. And I've seen rooms shared by 3 other people with 1 bath, $900 a month. They can kiss my you-know-what. I'll live in the street. I'll sweat my butt off in the woods of Florida. I don't have $900 a month. Let's go there. I have seen some cheap ones, but what turned out is under the comments, it was a young guy looking for booty, and he was offering the place for $350, and when these women would apply, he'd say, you know, if you let me have some, you can have the place for free. So, yeah, I don't think he'd be interested in my $350 a month. So, and that's really pretty much it in the area. There was a woman who had a condo, and but it was just too early on. I hadn't even sold my place yet, and she was $550, and I probably could have worked that out. But here's the thing: they're gonna want to know how much I make, and when I say $883, they're gonna be like, "You don't make enough," which is true. So what would I do? Okay, this is my current plan. I'm gonna find a van. If I could find, do I want a van with, 2 different water tanks, a black tank? Do I want to deal with stoves, toilets, showers? No. Things break. I'm broken. I'm not mechanical. I used to be, but now I have no patience. I have no patience. It's the God's honest truth. So what I'd like to do, I would preferably prefer a high-top van so I could stand up. That would be very nice. If I cannot find that, I'm looking for a Chevy, either a G20, which is a really old one, I know, but you know what? They have the least amount of miles on them. Why? They're trying to sell vans with almost 300,000 miles for $10,000, $15,000. Give me a break. So what am I going to do if I don't find a van? Oh, mercy. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'll take whatever I can find, throw my tent in it, throw the rest of my stuff in storage, and go camping. What can I do? Okay, I need a cooler. Yes. My first plan was I have a very nice blue and white cooler. Big cooler. And I noticed when I was traveling last October from New England back down here, and it was cooler, so the ice held up really, really well. 3 days later, that thing was still a block, and it sat outside here with that block of ice on it till I could, find the time and the energy to dump the water. It lasted about a week, that 20-pound, maybe it was, block of ice. So I thought about that, and then I have these little stands that you could put in your cabinets and put dishes on. I was going to put that in there on top of the block of ice and then pack my, stuff in. I'm going to avoid meats, mayonnaise, anything that could kill me if it goes bad, because as I told you, I can't taste and smell anymore. Sometimes I can get like a little, like I think I'm tasting or smelling. Long story. And so my plan is a van. I may go with an Alpacool cooler because I do have solar and I do have a Jackery, and I do understand the principle of using marine batteries if I want to go in that direction. I have to learn more about it. So my food needs and keeping stuff cool, because who wants to drink piss warm water, right? I want a cool bottle of water. If I have a little refrigerator cooler, that would be great. I've thought of going more upgrade for like a winter fridge, because those, like, I guess, are, but they're $700. I'll have to think about, I have to see what I have when all is said and done. See, the money for this trailer, I'm going to invest it and see if I can double it, and see if I can then, when everything falls, because what goes up must come down, right? Then I'll look for something. You don't need a piece of crap. Well, quite frankly, I might have to go with a piece of crap because I don't think I can afford anything else. See, I'd like to spend no more than $10,000 on a vehicle and keep $5,000 in reserve for an emergency, just in case, because just in case happens. And then I'll have my, 883 that comes in, and then if I could, if I could just finally organize all this paper and stuff, I have some stuff I can sell. I could do little flea markets to boost my income, and because I'm not going to have food stamps anymore, and I'm not going to have medical anymore, because I'm going to have the money from the trailer, and you can't have more than, what is it, 3,500 or something like that in reserve. Can't have that and get assistance. They want you to spend it down, and I'm not spending it down. I'm going to learn how to live off of $30 in groceries a week. I will figure it out. I've been writing and making lists and looking stuff up and figuring out what can I eat for $30 a week and still be healthy, So, okay, so that was Sheila. And Rapture Prepping, thank you for sticking with me and coming along on my journey. And yes, I understand you love the ladies, and yeah, my husband was a nice looking man, especially when he was young. This is a picture of us in our 40s, I do believe. He was a pudgy little thing. When I met him, he was really pudgy, and then he got really thin with me because I was always dieting, and so my dieting greatly affected him. And here's another picture of him a little older than that in our late, let's see, if I was 41 when I had her, and she was about 5 years old there, my Bonnie. So we were mid-40s there. Actually, that other one, we must have been in our, when was this? Yeah, mid-late 40s, no. Because Bonnie must have been about 7 there, so we were getting into our late 40s there, yeah. And this one, Bonnie was about 13, I think. Getting older. He was saying some foolishness, and I was laughing, and Kathy took that picture. Oh, gracious. My heart. My heart. Sentimental journey. Fresh air doesn't need old history. Yeah. Blue Rose Ramblings, thanks for being my friend and sticking with me. I appreciate you. And Blue Rose Ramblings has a channel, and she talks a little bit about her past and some other things going on in her life, if you want to check out her channel. Amy Speaks, Jesus, Art, and Nature, Spirit Soul Hiker. Yeah, getting a van and converting it, kind of what I want to do. So yeah, also something that's come up is, do you have a toilet? Yes, I do. Let me go get it. So this is actually a 3-gallon food bucket. Yes, indeedy do. And it has a screw-on lid, which when this is in use, this lid just sits on top. I don't screw it down, and I'll tell you why. Because, mercy, this bag still has, okay, I'll show you how I do this. How am I going to show you? All right, so I have this here, and it fits perfectly around the edge. Okay, get over there. Hang on a minute. This is really, really hard to do. Give me a second. Okay, it's not hard to do getting this thing on the rim. See how nicely it stays? Then I have my garbage bag, and look, I even left the that's pine shavings in there, right? I put my bag on top of everything. You know why? Because I'm not going to have to clean the toilet. Yes! Major plus. And then, so then, sitting on it, It is so comfortable. It's all cushy. And you're down low, which is really good for your intestines because your knees should always be higher than your butt. That's the best way to go. Okay. So then when I'm not using it, ta-da! That's that for my toilet. And then, when you're done, like, say I'm on the road, like that time I couldn't find a place because it was COVID time and I needed to pee really bad. Well, I just pulled over into the woods. I got on my potty. I peed, and then I just tied the bag up. And when I got to an area that had garbage, I threw it in. You throw out kitty litter, right? Cat poop, bird poop, probably whatever other poop, depending on your pet, baby poop. That's all I have to say about that. I keep that on my porch. Finn's coming over because, God bless my kids, they got 2 more days to get out of that apartment. And boy, oh boy, have they got a chore ahead of them. So I said, bring Finn over here because they're supposed to go and grab a moving truck today and get all the furniture over there. They might even spend their first night tonight because, how are they going to do that? She's saying, we're going to get the truck and get everything in it on this day, and then we're going to unload it all tomorrow. And I'm thinking, what are you going to sleep on? I don't know. Plain vanilla grandma, you are just so funny. I have towels that I'm bringing with me. I don't want a ton of towels, right? I'm going to have a bath towel, a beach towel, a couple of hand towels, and probably at least 6 face cloths because I use those a lot. Maybe I'll take more than that. I don't know. But I want to leave some towels for the people that are coming. They're not wealthy. They're operating on a very tight budget and have basically asked me to please leave as much as I possibly can for them. And so I'm going to do that. Because you know what? Everything I've ever given away, I just feel like, I don't know, the Great Spirit watches over me. Call it God. I don't care what you call it. Somebody's got my back. And food, clothing, and shelter, all the rest are luxuries. Posting my Hippie Lamp for sale, says Karen Martinez, right here on my channel. I don't know how much that would cost to ship. It's a bit heavy because the bottom's metal, It holds that lamp really nice. Cute little lamp, isn't it? I'm having a really hard time with that lamp. I had pulled it back out of my yard sale, remember? And that was a previous video. And when I was basically making fun of people who were just saying really negative things about me, I just kind of blocked them, and that was the end of that. Excuse me, I need another sip. And of course, I got my Coleman 2-burner stove. That's going to be my stove. And I can still make my cowboy coffee. Cowboy coffee's easy because after you boil it, right? And you strain it out, usually all of those grinds go right into your strainer and you just whack that into the garbage and that's almost clean. Then I'm just going to take a little soft rag. I'm going to wipe out the pot, wipe off the thing. I don't even need to use water for that. There's no stickiness, there's no grease, there's just coffee. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do with that. So I got my cooking down, got my stove. I'm going to buy myself an RV monoxide detector because on Cheap RV Living, Bob Wells, he says that the ones that you buy for the home, they just don't have it for bouncing around in a vehicle. They're not going to work when you need it. So an RV monoxide detector in case I need to use my Coleman stove to heat my van. It might happen, It's definitely going to happen in Florida or wherever I go because we get 30-degree mornings sometimes. It happens. We get a freeze. And, I can always crash in my kids' living room if it's like so cold that, I don't want to deal. But I don't know. I got wool blankets. Maybe I'll toughen up a little bit. Maybe my back will completely go out on me and I'll go into assisted living. I don't know. I gotta do this one moment at a time. I can't even take a day at a time because I never know if I'm gonna be walking or not. Okay, move on. And the last thing I'm gonna cover is Karen Martinez also talked about a Jayco hummingbird. Here's the thing. I really don't know what my future plans are. Right now, I wanna try to get this place under control and get my belongings down to a very small amount because I don't want to pay for storage forever. And there's no place to store it with my kids. Bonnie's a minimalist and she's sharing a place with like 4 other people. Rachel is crammed into a tiny apartment with a friend who let her sleep in his living room. Mike, Maggie, Dennis, and Finn are in a tiny 2-bedroom, 1-bath home, and they got more stuff than I ever had in my lifetime. So, in combination, all 3 of them together. So yeah, I don't have a solid plan for my future. Right now, it is have some sort of roof over my head when I leave here. I got all my cooking and other equipment. I got my jackery. I got my solar. I'm all set there. I'm ready for a toilet. I got that, as you just saw. I got the bed. I got everything I need for just living in a van down by the river. But yeah, right now I can't really think about if I wasn't going to get a vehicle and let's pretend that RV parks here were very affordable for seasonal and now they're not. They might become that way again, probably when the new owners who bought in the height of it for ridiculous prices, and that's why they're charging ridiculous amounts. When everything crashes, and it will, mark my words, they're going to lose their campgrounds, and then somebody's going to sweep it up for nothing, and because everybody won't have any money, the prices will go down again. And at that time, I may think about a camper. But what I would prefer is my own little piece of the pie, a little piece of land, easy to drive on to, sit in my camper there, maybe dig a well if I can afford it. There's a lot of ifs in my future. I can't make big plans with little resources. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, I've gone over 30 minutes, and I'm going to stop there.